I remember quite a few years ago now, my son was about 6 years old and we were driving. I think I was coming back from school pickup, just him and me in the car, and we came to this section of the road that went from 2 lanes to 1 and there was like no give way. But what we saw was neither the people in front of us wanted to give way to each other. So they pulled off to the side of the road and the guy in the back got out and he was shaking his fist and his car was starting to roll because he didn't put the handbrake on. And it was just a failure from both of them, or neither of them, to actually give way. The whole thing was crazy. We got 2 grown men standing yelling at each other on the side of the road because neither of them had the patience to give way to the other guy. At the time, I said, "Oh, look at that," until I said to Riley, my son, and we didn't think much more of it. But then quite a few years after that event, we were driving past the same intersection, same area, and now my 10-year-old, not 6-year-old, goes, "Oh, do you remember that time those 2 crazy guys got out and started yelling at each other?" And I was going, wow, he remembers something from 4 or 5 years ago. That road rage incident stuck in his head, and we weren't even involved in it. It kind of took me back a little bit, because he was remembering something that, even though he observed it, he wasn't actually involved in it. So I was thinking of all the times that I've been in the car driving, haven't had any road rage, but have let a few words slip and whatnot, and I've got my kids as passengers. So what kind of my behaviour is rubbing off on them, and how do they remember that? So what I want to talk to you today is about road rage and why it happens, and that it's not really about the other person. It's about you or me getting angry at the other person because they've made a mistake or they've cut you off. But the reason behind that. Road rage is not just about bad drivers. What road rage is, the person that gets cut off, they're running on empty. Their glass is full. If you watch my other videos, the glass of water technique, what that says is that through the day, you've had your glass being filled up with your commute to work, with things going to shit at work. All these little things have stacked up. So when you hop in the car towards the end of the day, that's when most of these incidents happen, not first thing in the morning, you're already at a very high level and not able to take much more crap. So when that person cuts you off, you're off. You're swearing and shaking your fist and honking your horn. And that it might have been a simple mistake by that driver in front. Because I'm sure, and I hope it's not true, that every time you jump in a car, you're at a 10. On good days, you should be right down. And on the commute to work, I'm sure it might build up. But if you had a bad night's sleep, you woke up late, there's all these things that have been tipping you off or adding to your glass of water at the start of the day. Then you can imagine if your day progressed from there and kept getting worse, by the end of the day, by the time you get in the car, you're going to be at a 10. This is when you got to realize, I've got to calm down a bit. I have got to find ways to not get my glass filled up, or to get a little bit empty before I jump in that car. So as you can see, if you're in a good mood and someone cuts you off, you go, "Oh, okay, he's either made a mistake or didn't see me or whatever," and you just go on with your life. But the exact same incident, if you're at a very high level of being overwhelmed or full, your glass is quite full, that's just going to tip you off and drive. You might honk the horn, shake your fist, tailgate him a little bit, just until your blood pressure comes back down and you calm down a bit and go, "What am I doing?" My YouTube channel is more focused on dads, but it does apply to everyone. But why it's more important for dads to empty their glass before they come home, because when they go home, they've got a couple walking around triggers, right, that can set you off again. So you don't want to be driving home angry and then walking through the door and your kid does something innocent, like spills something. Yeah, they all make mistakes. And then you're up here because of not getting yourself calm or not fixing yourself on the way home. And then you have road rage on top of all, bad driving, angry driving on top of that. You're not giving the kids the dad they deserve when you're getting yourself wound up like that. And when you've got your kids in your car with you driving around and you're at a high level, especially during an afternoon commute and a school pickup, they're seeing that and they're going to think that's normal. Do you want your kids yelling and carrying on and potentially getting themselves in a dangerous situation when they get older because of can't control themselves when driving? I'll leave that with you for a sec, because I want to talk to you about something bigger, and it's about emotional leadership. Do you think the dads or the men in your life with a strong emotional leadership are going to be the ones that carry on when an accident happens, or incident or a near miss happens on your way to commute? Someone cuts you off, someone makes a mistake. Do you think they're the ones that are going to be tailgating, honking their horn and yelling at their fellow drivers? That's not going to happen, because men who have emotional leadership, control of their emotions, are not going to act like that. And then when they get home, they're going to be able to give the 100% of themselves to their kids and to their family and to whoever may be home as well. Driving is actually a great way to test yourself on your patience with your fellow human beings. It's anonymous. You're insulated in your own world, in this big vehicle. Most people don't, well, nearly all the people on the road aren't going to know who you are. So it's a mirror of how you act in life. So if you're an asshole in real life, you're probably going to be an asshole when you drive your car, or even more so, because it'll be actually amplified. And the flip side of that is if you're a genuine human being and you've got some emotional control, that's going to be represented in the way you drive as well. So here's 4 things to help you fix your, if you have any issues with road rage. Number 1 is reducing the amount of stuff that gets in your glass. If you know something is going to tick you off, see if you can eliminate it from your life or minimize it, because the less you put in your cup during the day, at the end of the day, you're going to be at a much lower level and a much more tolerant person when you jump in that car. And to add to that, if you are in a very overwhelmed, angry state before you jump in the car, just give yourself 5 minutes. Sit there, relax, breathe, and know you're at a high point. So take your time getting home. So that leads into part 2, is recognizing your triggers, recognizing that you're not calm and taking that few extra minutes before you join the chaos of the commute home, and being aware of your feelings. That's going to help you, because you'll know, oh, I'm quite annoyed or pissed off at the moment. I just need a minute to decompress, and then you'll start driving. 3, other one is have some compassion for the other driver. Now, they could have made a mistake, or they could be the arsehole. Either way, don't let what that person's actions control the way you feel. You're in control of the way you feel. So if someone cuts you off, you go, oh, you made a mistake. He must be in a hurry. A funny little thing that I use, oh, he shit his pants. He must be in a hurry. So I have a little bit of chuckle to myself, because that person in a worse state than I am. Back right off. Just let them go. And here's hoping that if you make a mistake, people are as courteous to you as you are to them. Or just own it. Go, hey, sorry, didn't see you, whatever. 4, use your car as a safe space. Don't try to race everybody home. Get in the right lane that you need to be in well before you need to get in. Be courteous to other drivers. Think of it as almost like a zen. And if you're thinking of it as your zen, then you're not going to overreact. And in contrast, you won't be doing things that will piss off other drivers as well. So you won't get the road rage back at you. Because when those cars traveling 100 kilometers an hour on a freeway, or miles per hour, 80 miles per hour in the States, one little accident or one incident can be catastrophic to both parties. And for all the dads out there, remember, if you've got your kids in your back seat, you've just not got your life in your hands, you've got their life in your hands. And I can understand why you'd be a bit more overprotective, and the stress of that can lead to higher increases of road rage. So knowing that, you've got to calm the farm, back off. Going back to the start, so my son didn't know those guys from a bar of soap, but it stuck in his memory for years. Actually, if I went and asked him, he's 16 now, if I went and asked him now, he would probably still remember that over all the other things or memories that he's had through his life. So what you model on the road and how you drive, kids learn from watching, not from you telling them. And if you make a mistake, go, oh, I shouldn't have got cranky. That guy made a mistake. He's probably shit his pants. So I'm not talking about being the perfect driver and also not expecting other drivers to be perfect. In fact, I think you're better off thinking everyone else on the road are bad drivers, because then you expect them to do silly things. So A, you're not getting upset with them, and B, you're not setting yourself up to fail by not expecting it. So when you're driving with your kids, just think of it, you're in a classroom and it's emotional leadership that you want to show them. They're a captive audience and you've got them there. So you have to be on your best behavior so your kids can learn from you. So my Beyond Anger Method course, or the videos that I do, and the book that I've got that's in the description below, it's not for everybody. It's not for the person that's looking for a quick fix. It's not for that person that doesn't think they do anything wrong. It's for the dad or for the person that realizes, I can't keep acting like this, something needs to change. So the waitlist for the course is in the link below. Also, as I said, the ebook is in the link below. That's, if you want to start tonight, it's a good place. It's less than a tank of gas. And if you like this video and you think it helped, make sure you like and subscribe, as it helps other dads or other people who suffer with road rage or anger issues find this information. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.